Show me the money.
All right, Show Me the Money is back. NFL picks for week number 8. Join me today, somebody who usually comes on late in the season, but they have a big game this week, the Steelers. Alex Fasano is here. Alex, how are you?
Doing fantastic, Mike. Thank you for having me, as always. Great to be on the show again.
Not a problem. I'm glad to have you on here. And the scheduling worked out here pretty well for this because I know they had to change the schedule with the Steelers, Titans, and we got a great game out of that in week 7.
Oh, I mean, well, you just said it. It was an unbelievable game. I couldn't breathe for the last 10 minutes, and everybody loves a good missed field goal for the win. So it was definitely a battle of two undefeated teams. One had to come out on top. I'm just thankful it was my Steelers. So what a great game, though. What a great battle it was.
It definitely was a fantastic battle, and we saw early the Steelers jump out of the huge lead. The Titans did come all the way back. A.J. Brown the big catch and run. They come back down after Ben throws the interception in the end zone. So are there any concerning things that bothered you out of that game?
Yeah, I mean, I watch the games every week with my dad, and every week I tell him when we don't score on the opening drive, this is normal Steelers football. It's just they're not a team that comes out to an early start. They're always better in right before half and the fourth quarter. But this was a different approach. They scored a touchdown on the opening drive, their first opening drive touchdown since December of 2018, I believe. And this was, it's something where you don't see the Steelers leading by multiple scores at the half. So it was shocking, but it was also something that I wasn't comfortable with because I knew Tennessee was a great team and they were obviously going to put points on the board. It looked similar to Cleveland. When Cleveland was taking on the Steelers and the Steelers jumped off to a multiple touchdown lead, I said to myself, it's so early. But we managed to hold them off in the second half. Here, I knew the Titans were going to come back. And as you said, it's been one interception all year, and now he throws 3 in the entire game. So it was just a lot of mistakes. But they did convert well on third down. And they sped the game up. They reached halftime. It was like an hour 15 out of the game. It was crazy. So if they can speed the game up like that, I think they'll be great. So I wasn't really too surprised that they controlled the ball and controlled the clock.
Yeah, and now thanks to them that win plus Seattle losing the weekend, Pittsburgh is the last undefeated team in the NFL. Obviously, everybody went into the years, Kansas City, Baltimore, AFC. Do you think the Steelers have enough to be in that weight class going forward all at the end of the year?
I mean, I love whenever the Steelers are underdogs or they're counted out. Oh, Ben doesn't have it. Oh, the Steelers aren't going to go anywhere. The Ravens are too tough. Cleveland's a better team this year. I love being the underdog, and I love how they don't even mention the Steelers. Now you have to start at least throwing them in the conversation. I mean, this will be the first test when they take on Baltimore this week, obviously, to see if they could really compete. But, I mean, when it comes to, like, the Chiefs, per se, you gotta share the ball like they did. I mean, Juju and Deontay Johnson both had 9 catches each. Eric Ebron had 6 catches. So if they can keep sharing the ball, they can compete with anybody. I mean, they sped the game up against the Titans with keeping Tannehill and Derrick Henry off the field. You have another 8-minute drive to start a game against the Chiefs, keep Mahomes off the field for the first quarter. That's huge. It's just they just gotta keep those bomb explosive plays out of the stadium too. It's like, A.J. Brown just scored a nice 75-yard catch and run. We got to limit those plays. So as long as they limit those plays, no mistakes, control the clock, they can compete with anybody. And I love how each week it's like they don't consider the Steelers yet to that top tier, but now you really got to throw them in the conversation. I mean, what else do they have to do?
I don't know what else they got to do, but I think beating Baltimore is going to be a good start. I mean, Lamar Jackson beat them in both of his starts as against the Steelers as a Ravens quarterback. Plus, they beat you guys last year when you needed the game. They played the backups and won. So, what are you looking forward to? What do you think is the key to this matchup with the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, they're due for a nice. We haven't had a nice Ravens-Steelers matchup. Last year obviously Ben was hurt, so it's been a while since we've had nice, tough, hard-hitting Steelers-Ravens football. And that's what I'm expecting this Sunday. It's going to be great. I mean, if they can contain Lamar, make him throw. They lead the league in rushing yards per game, but they're, I believe, like second to last in passing yards per game. I think the Jets win that one. The Jets take that award from them. But If you can make Lamar throw, keep him in the pocket, make him throw from the pocket, we might be able to capitalize, we being the Steelers. I mean, if they can grind the clock like they did, run, play Steelers football, keep Lamar off the field, and when he's on the field, don't let him run past you, because obviously in their history, the Steelers are not the greatest when it comes to mobile quarterbacks. So if you contain Lamar, make him throw, make him make that deep throw to Marquise Hollywood Brown, limit the mistakes. I mean, they have only 3 interceptions as a defense, the Ravens, but they have three interceptions as a defense, but 8 fumbles recovered. So if Ben, plays smart, doesn't make any mistakes, dink and dunk, no real trying to make the tight throws. If they can play their form of football, hard-hitting Steelers football, I think we might be able to give them a run for their money. And converting on third downs obviously always helps. They were 8 of 9 against the Titans. If they can do that again, just keep grinding that clock.
Yeah, obviously the Raven passing game has not been the same as it was last year, and I know that I'm a Lamar Jackson fantasy owner, and he's still giving me good points because he runs a decent amount, but that's something you think that the Steelers should be able to keep him having difficulty again, considering their secondary is tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers defense leads the league in pressure rate. So if they can get to Lamar, if they can get to him before he starts scrambling, steps up in the pocket and runs off for 25 yards, which he is very, very capable of doing, that's really the best thing I can make him use his arm. That's the best argument I could say that the Steelers need to contain Lamar. He's a talented guy. Each year everyone keeps saying he's got no arm. Well, make him prove that. Make him show us that he can have an arm. If he doesn't, then the Steelers take advantage of it. But it's just Lamar is that team. So if you take away the main cog of that team, you take advantage of it and you come out on top.
Yeah, you do. I've been tracking the line of this game. I think it's very interesting because they had the Ravens open as 5.5-point favorites. Obviously, they had the bye week, so they were able to rest up while the Steelers had to play that Titans game. But it has shifted in favor of the Steelers. I think it's an interesting trend.
Yeah, I mean, people are still, it was unfortunate with the whole situation with COVID. We were supposed to be coming off a bye like the Ravens now. But the Steelers, they're born for this. They love this. The whole organization, they know what's coming. They know it's Ravens-Steelers, the best rivalry in football. So I'm sure the public is starting to realize it too. You're right. I see it at 3.5 right now as Ravens favored. But I personally don't bet on my Steelers. I can't do it. So I would be surprised if the public starts getting a little money in on Pittsburgh. But I could see the Ravens taking that home favorite at a decent price.
Hey, I totally get it with not betting on your own team. It's definitely a superstitious thing. I have bet against my team for 5 straight weeks. I've gone 4-1, so I still say it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I actually got bit by your Jets last week. I thought the Bills were going to be able to cover that double-digit spread, but your Jets making me upset too, not just yourself.
Hey, first time all year they cover the number. That did burn me last week because I had gone 5 straight weeks picking the Jets. They had not covered, and this is the first time all year they've actually covered the number.
Yep, there you go. So it's biting everybody, even the fans.
Yep. So let's go to the picks since I brought it up here. Your fellow sports gritter, Kevin Walsh, was here last week. He actually had the rare 1-1 week, so he had a push in there too. He had the Browns.
Oh, okay.
Browns laying 3. That was the push. He had the Patriots laying the 2.5. That one did not go according to plan. But he did have the Rams laying 5.5 on Monday night, and they blew the Bears out of the building. So that one worked pretty well for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great host. I produce a bunch of his shows too, in-game live all around the SportsGrid network. So shout out to Kevin. He's a great analyst, and he really he loves his football. So and my Steelers took down his Eagles, so I do feel a little bad already in this season.
Yeah, he did. I had a bad week last week. I went 1-2 for the second week in a row. I did lay the 13.5 with Buffalo, and I think with that one, I feel like the Buffalo had not had that touchdown overturned by the penalty and converted 1 or 2 more. I still think they would have covered that number because the Jets did nothing second half of that game. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Jets came out hard on top. That defense was great, limiting Josh Allen. I mean, I think just over 300 yards, no touchdowns. So they did well, but you're right. They just fell apart the second half, and any of those 6 field goals could have been a touchdown. So it's unfortunate that we couldn't get the cover, but yeah, that Bills team, I don't know what's going on up in Buffalo, but they got to find the end zone. Yeah, that was one of my losses. The other one, I had the Seahawks laying 3.5 on Sunday night in Arizona. That one didn't work out as they lost in overtime. I did have the Panthers getting the 7.5 in New Orleans against the Saints. They did cover the number, so I did go 1-2 for the week.
I actually got bit by the Panthers a couple weeks back. I think they were laying 3, and I thought I could take them, and it was just, I can't bet on the Panthers anymore this season. So I'm out on the Panthers. I'm out on the Bills. I'm running out of teams here. But that's good, though. At least you're getting one win under the belt.
Yeah, that one, I saw the numbers, like the exact same number that they had against the Saints were laying against the Chargers in week 5. The Chargers cover it for this. I basically was betting against the Saint defense there, and that worked out.
I'm glad it worked out. It's always nice to get at least one in there.
Yeah, so on the year, team challengers so far is 13-7-1, so they're off to a good start. I started out red hot, I've cooled off a little bit. I'm 15-6 to start the year.
All right. Sounds about even, but I am on the challengers, so I got to root for the side here.
Yep, you are. So we're gonna go to the picks right now. We're gonna start the picks for week number 8. Alex, you're up first. Where are you going with your first pick?
All right, my first pick will be the Titans. They are a 6-point favorite right here. I'm actually looking at it 5.5. So it depends on where you're looking. You can get them maybe at a 5.5, around 6 range. Titans are coming off a tough game against the Steelers. We just talked about it. They're angry. Steven Gostkowski is ready to kick again. So I think the Titans come out hard, and Joe Burrow, he's going to put some points on the board, but Ryan Tannehill is going to put a little more on the board. Burrow is going to get scared towards the end of the game, maybe throw a late pick, and keep the Titans ahead. I think you can lay that with the favorite here. And then I'm also going to go here.
Let me comment the Titan pick first. I think the issue for me I had with that game is just like they're on the road. They're laying a lot of points. I feared the backdoor cover there. That's why I wouldn't touch it.
Totally fair. But, it's Joe Burrow. He's still young. He's only got 1 win under his belt. So I still don't think it comes today. Something's going to happen in that game where it's a classic rookie mistake.
All right. So next one is which one?
I got the Rams and what game is that? Rams and
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. That's right. 2 time in Miami. Well, they're 3-point dogs at home, so I'm going to take the Rams road favorites. You're getting them at 3 here. I took them at 4. It's 2 time, but it's not time just yet. I think Jared Goff is coming off a nice win here for the Rams, and Tua, same situation as Burrow. I think a rookie mistake is on the way. Aaron Donald is the guy who's going to be coming up against Tua in his first NFL start. Not the best matchup for him, coming against the best defensive player in the league. So I think the Rams comfortable field goal, maybe even a 2-point spread here. 2-point score lead. I think the Rams win by double digits.
I think that one's a fair pick there because I can't really make a judge on the Dolphin offense now because we only see it with Fitzpatrick. I never saw it with Tua talking about, and that's a manageable number. I know they have a short week and they're flying east and they have the West Coast body time thing, but they're usually pretty good in those spots. I like that pick.
Yeah, I really feel confident about this. This is probably my most confident out of these 3. The Rams are showing that they can fight, and it's an NFC West, more like the NFC best division in football. The Rams have to keep pace, and I think they do it with a win over the Dolphins.
All right, where are you going with your last pick?
My last pick will be the New England Patriots. Shockingly, a 4-point dog on the road against Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be a favorite at home, but they're getting another point, so you got the Patriots here. Look, they're coming off a terrible beatdown from the 49ers. Cam Newton knows his back is against the wall. It's do or die time. If he loses again, he's probably getting benched, and it's Stidham's position to hold. So I think Cam is back against the wall. Patriots will come out on top. Buffalo thinks to themselves, we can finally beat the Pats at home. We never do this. Well, what happens when you start to doubt the Patriots? They really show up. So I think Belichick will come out on top. Cam Newton sticks his hands down the throat of Buffalo Bills fans and says, hey, I'm still the quarterback here in New England. You guys aren't done with us yet. Patriots by a very large margin.
Yeah, I think this is a spot also where you're looking at it and you're like, I feel like people are ready to bury the Patriots, and I don't trust that Bill team because they have not played well for about a month. If they were playing anybody other than the Jets last week, they would have lost the way they played that football game. So if they come out a little sloppy again, New England's a better team. New England will be able to be right there, so I love that pick.
Yeah, and we just talked about it. The Jets and the Bills, the Jets held the Bills to 6 field goals. I think that Patriots defense is a little bit stronger than the Jets. So I think New England is angry. They're mean, and they're ready to come out with a win. 3 games lost. When's the last time we saw New England lose 4 straight? So I think Belichick knows it's do or die. Cam knows it's do or die. Patriots definitely cover here.
Yep, that's good for your picks. I'm up now. Pick number 1. I'm going to make it 6 weeks in a row pick against the Jets here. I'm going to lay the 19.5 with the Chiefs. I think for me, as long as this number stays under 3 touchdowns, I think it's probably going to, because the line's actually shifted toward the Jets for some bizarre reason after it opened at 20.5. This team is not going on the road and doing anything in Kansas City. They had a good half last week. They got 4 yards in the second half. As soon as the team makes adjustments on them, they can't keep up with it. And the Chiefs have so much firepower. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Le'Veon Bell's revenge game, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, the list goes on. The Jets are going to get their brains beaten in this game. This is going to be at least a 3-touchdown victory for the Chiefs. I'm laying those 19.5 points. Pick 1.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I wish I could find the player props. They don't have them up yet on FanDuel Sportsbook, but Le'Veon Bell total yards is probably something you want to lean. You said it. The revenge game. I think Kansas City destroys the Jets here.
Yeah, I think that's pick number 1. That's an easy one. I think I'm going to get back on the board with them. Pick number 2, I'm taking your team. I'm taking the Steelers getting the 3.5 points against the Ravens this week on the road. And as you said, Lamar's offense has not been good. He's not throwing the ball as well. And I love the fact I'm getting the hook here at the Steelers, because this game, when these two teams are at their best, it's physical, it's nasty, this tends to be a close game, field goal either way. Getting that hook with the Steelers is huge. So I'm going to take the 3.5 points, take the Steelers, pick 2.
You know what? If I would bet on my team, this is exactly what I would do. You're absolutely right. Getting the hook is huge. This is Steelers-Ravens football. This is hard hitting. You know it may even go under the total. I think I'm looking at 46.5. So an under there could work. So this is grind football. Most of these games end up being a field goal margin. So you're right. That hook is going to save you. I love this bet.
Yeah, that's pick number 2. Pick number 3 for me. I'm taking the Saints this week. I'm laying the 4 points in Chicago against the Bears. And this is because the Bears cannot score the football to save their lives. Nick Foles has been awful since he took over as a starter. They can't go back to Trubisky because of reasons. And, I mean, they're going to Chicago. And I know the Saints defense has not been good, but I'm only laying 4. And the Saints are going to run the football. The Bears have trouble stopping the run. The Bears cannot move the ball very well on their own. I think this is going to be a game the Saints win something like 21-10, and I'm get the number covered. So lay the 4 with the Saints, pick 3.
Yeah, I can definitely see them covering. I mean, you mentioned that they're going to run the ball. They don't have Michael Thomas in the right state of mind, whether he's on the field or not. And the Saints know that the NFC South is going to be fought for by the Bucs. So they have to keep pace. They got to keep winning games. It's either the Bucs or Saints, in my opinion, out of the South. Saints could easily cover this number. I like it a lot.
All right, to reset the picks of the week, Al is going with the Titans, laying the 5.5 in Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. The Rams laying 4 in Miami against the Dolphins. And the Patriots is a 4-point road underdog against the Buffalo Bills. I am taking the Chiefs at home, laying 19.5 against my Jets for the 6th week in a row. I'm taking the Steelers, getting 3.5 in Baltimore against the Ravens. And I'm taking the Saints, laying 4 in Chicago against the Bears. And that's going to do it for the Week 8 picks. Next week, I'm going to bring in one of my buddies, Giant fan Phil Frietta. We're going to talk most likely them getting their brains beat in by the Bucs on Monday night.
Yeah, Monday Night Football, another thriller here. Bucs and Giants. It's Brady against Jones. Oh, man, I wonder who's going to come out on this one.
Hey, wait till the week afterwards. That's the Patriots and the Jets.
Oh, even better. Patriots get double primetime games. Look at that.
Yeah, and this is a great job by the NFL here, putting New York football on primetime 3 weeks in a row.
Classic NFL, knowing exactly what matchups the people want to see.
Yeah, I think they got burned, but I bet they thought the Jets would be a little better than they are. The Giants, you had no indication they were going to be any good. In fact, they got 2 primetime games, which is mind-boggling.
Well, it's probably a whole different game and a whole different aspect. If Saquon Barkley is healthy on the field, no one can account for that ACL tear. But yeah, it's really crazy how the New York teams find their way onto prime time.
Yeah, and right now it looks like one of those New York teams that get Trevor Lawrence next year. So
let's hope for you guys' sake. I really hope so.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is the Jets have basically blown 3 games they could have easily won, because they should have beaten Denver when Brett Rippon was starting the third stringer. They should have beaten the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not good, and they could have beaten Buffalo and the way they played last week. So, I mean, you look at that schedule. Where's the win coming?
Hey, honestly, if you can get them to go 0-16, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not too afraid to lay that juice in case you feel like thinking that the Jets are going to go 0-16. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I think the Giants will end up with about 3-4 wins. That's my gut with them. They're in enough games that somehow they'll accidentally find their way into 1 or 2.
Yeah, you could actually on FanDuel Sportsbook find the exact number of regular season wins for the Giants. No matter what you choose, it's all plus money. So you could find that and get good value there if you're looking for some type of New York bet.
Yeah, if you're looking for value, though, I also would say avoid the money line on the Chiefs. I think it's minus 2,500, which is absurd for an NFL game.
Yes, it is. It's actually minus 3,000 as we speak.
Oh my God!
So yeah, do not lay that.
Yeah, when it opened at minus 2,200. It said for the folks not as up on the money line, you bet 100 on that, you're gonna win $4.55.
Wow, what a penny! What a penny!
That's like your Floyd Mayweather dropping $100,000 bet to try and double up with the way that's going.
There you go. I'm sure you can find some better value elsewhere.
I think you can. Alex, thanks all the time. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, if you follow me on social media, keep up some of the stuff you're up to.
Just follow me at Alex Fasano, Fazano on Twitter. You could also follow my network, SportsGrid, producing shows for there. 24/7 gambling advice, some fantasy picks here and there. Check it out at SportsGrid. We're on MSG Networks, Roku TV, and all your OTT platforms. So check us out.
Absolutely. Check them out. Alex, thanks for all the time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure.
All right. Up next, we're going to go the 2-minute drill. Talk about the importance of voting this year right after this.